Trying to, do I want to have it above me or right here?
Yeah, Mr. Nick knows how to work some gear for sure.
Sometimes.
Because this is what he does as well. He's a fellow creative, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I told you.
I
told you.
I haven't gotten that locked in yet.
Every time I play the wrong one, dude.
All right, I think we'll be good right there.
Yeah, you literally asked me if I used that board, and I was like, I would, but every time I use it, I push the wrong one.
All right, good start.
Yeah, great start. What's the podcast like that you work on?
I mean, it was pretty basic, like, you know, literally just set it up on one wide angle.
Oh, yeah, one single camera.
Because I felt that, I mean, before, like I said, kind of went into it blind because someone pretty much just, it's like, hey, do you want to film this? I'm like, sure. And then
So you
told
just
me,
run it
like,
on your Canon?
pretty much, yeah.
It can go for how long? Is that infinite duration?
Well, I had to, like, just so, like, you know, that made sure that I could jump back and forth. But, like, it wasn't like this where it's multiple angles. And
Oh, what do you mean you had to? Like double wides?
well, no, like, so I had the one stationary on the tripod and everything. And then I just had one and, like,
Handheld?
pretty close to it. Just so, like, if I felt like I needed to stop and record real quick. That way I still had clip to cut to.
You'd set it stationary and then switch. Oh, what the fuck? Yeah, you stole my Sony cord.
My bad.
And I got this knockoff, but it works.
It works.
We had to go on a scavenger hunt to get these. I just need to buy another level of soundproof headphones. Probably soon because I'm having a baby, especially.
That would probably help.
It's going to get loud in this house.
Feel that. But no, like I was saying, so basically I just, you know, with the Canons, you know, they can, depending, you know, anywhere from like 20, 25 minutes. Like,
Oh,
yeah.
that's like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Max,
So,
like Sony mirrorless.
yeah.
That's what I was wondering because my old Sony ACC300.
Well, that's because I don't have a dummy battery. So if I had a dummy battery or AC power, it may last longer.
You can't just plug it into a power source direct?
I don't have an adapter for it. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, that's what you know how to work with what you got, though.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it matters, dude. When I was working, you were talking about Death Sentence.
Yeah.
On that shoe. Oh, my dumb ass, dude. Gosh, I'm so dumb. So I was thinking about taking 2 tripods into that blue case. Oh, fuck. Will you shut that curtain, my dude? Oh, we're all ghetto. And then, nobody saw what was back there, ladies and gents. There we go. Back to professional.
Just keep it on this angle for the first 2 minutes.
Just on me. Ooh, you guys don't need to see what's going on over there. Yeah, that blue bag right there. I just barely brought it back because I've been on nothing but trips.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I got back really home. That's why I was like, let's do it on Friday.
Yeah.
Damn, dude. Been traveling. And then last week, I was in Colombia. But that time, I was with Death Sentence. I freaking was like, let me take 2 tripods with me. This is going to be better. I'll have double solid angles. I won't have to really worry about a thing. Because normally, I run one on a tripod and one handheld during a shoot. You know what I'm saying? Do you hear everything all right?
Yeah.
Okay, just
It's
let me know if you need
comfortable
me.
on my ears.
Yeah, those are probably way more comfortable than these crappy ones. Look at these.
Oh, yeah.
This is what you were going to end up using. Yeah, I'm glad you got the Beast by Trey. I got to upgrade and these need to be the guest ones because they're so nice that I don't even want to let the guest work.
I get you.
I like these ones. Yeah, so I wanted to take 2 tripods this time though. So I could just have 2 stationary cameras. But my tripods, they don't fit in that bag. So I take the fluid head off.
Okay.
And I take the fluid head off and I measure them both in my bag and go, oh, okay, they can fit. But then after I get everything in there, I'm like, never mind. I'm just going to take one. And I leave one fluid head in there, one tripod base in there. And as I'm setting up for the interview with one of the big guys, Scarface from Street Beats, the founder, I was getting ready to set up the interview and I'm like, put the fluid head on. I start screwing and I'm like, wait, this shit don't fit. It had like a different washer system. Oof. I left the wrong fluid head from the other tripod. I confused them.
Yeah.
But you know what I did? I screwed in a light stand thing into the bottom of my camera and I put it on and it
worked.
It was just a solid straight on the light stand and it did work. I just sat there and touched it like this and held it soft. And
just to make sure.
And I've worked with what I had, dude. I honestly came out nice.
Because you're here like, I'm the professional? Like
I even joked around with the guy because it just happens. Sometimes that's just an accident, freak accident where I had to learn. I got to double check. It's the first time I ever done that.
Trust me, I still be doing stuff like that.
Yeah. What was your last blunder?
Nothing, not like on a major shoot or anything, but I was just out like, you know, just scrolling around out in nature. And like, I had my tripod with me, but I forgot that I had the plate on my other camera before I left. So like I opened the tripod bag
you
and
didn't
I
have a plate to put it onto the tripod.
but like so I had literally just like this little mini like not a stabilizer, but just like little hand tripod thing. Like a little mini tripod basically for just like a desk.
What?
Like just literally
for like a phone? What do you mean?
Not for a phone.
A mini tripod for it, like you put on your desk, like an ornament thing.
No, I mean it can support like I don't know how much to weight, but like
It's like tiny.
I mean it could support my it could support a DSLR and mirrorless.
Oh,
like,
so how did you get that? How did you use that?
I didn't. I just ended up doing that and then just
finding different angles,
pretty much, and then like finding some ground and literally finding some flat rocks to like balance the shot I was trying to get. Like, yeah,
I've used sandbags a lot before on reality shows. You just stick it into the sandbag, dude, and it sits strong. You just find spots. Yeah, and it works good like that. Yeah, I don't forget memory cards anymore. That was like that's a noob mistake.
Oh yeah,
that's like part of the checklist. I'm like, there's no way in hell I am getting all the way to an airplane about to fly out and be like, oh shit, I forgot all the memory cards. That's rough. That's important.
That's rough.
That is the most important. Without that, you're not recording.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Second most important.
And I'm sure a lot of time it's just like you get straight off the airplane, go to the location and start working.
Yeah, sometimes it is like that. Sometimes you're just like, they expect you to have charged batteries right away and that you're just going to keep the luggage in the car as we go. It's like, fuck, okay, I guess I better make sure I have some charged batteries in my luggage. Dude, do you ever travel with like you have a lot of camera batteries?
Well, I've never flown anywhere, but like as far as, how many you can't, because for like my Canon, I have like 10 batteries.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Just because.
Holy crap, that's a lot. They're pretty small, huh? That's why you have to keep switching them.
Yeah. Well, a lot of time I end up only maybe using like 2 to 3 at max, depending on the project. Because like more or less of the time, like I'm done doing what I'm doing within 2-3 hours. So a lot of them.
Oh my god, I probably should zoom in a little bit. You look kind of small there, dude. I guess I look kind of small too.
Just stick on the wide
We're both
angle,
I'm sticking with the decision I made. That's art. It's like the splatter is the art, the chaos.
Just
that's what I love about documentary. That shit is real. That's what I love, dude. Robot ain't taking my job. VO3, Google, where everyone's be making movies. It's about who has the best movie ideas. Now it's the best idea.
Man. Like I said, there's parts of it that I do enjoy, and then other parts where I'm just like, because like I know people that like have a whole clothing brand that's purely AI generated.
Oh yeah, I know people like that too. People that brands we were just talking about. They definitely just AI. I mean, but is it a problem? Is it just make it more efficient to make art?
I mean, the ethical side of it, I believe, like if it's straight up ripping off an artist, because I mean, not that I follow it too much, because I know there's like I can't even say.
But you can say it in the style of Van Gogh. Ripping off an artist.
But I mean, how long has he been dead? So
it's like, it's recently.
Yeah.
Because you feel like if you're saying do it in the style of Jason Turner, it's gonna take people who would originally hire me away from being my
exactly. So it's like where it's like inspiration versus imitation.
Yeah, I just did this I just did this. It's because it's directly sampled from, but if it is different, there's this case, because I'm getting my MBA and I just did this legal business course, like my last course last term, and I just started a new term, which is behavior finance. But yeah, last term was legal business, and we talked about blurred lines and a Marvin Gaye. You know about that?
I don't.
Marvin Gaye has a song. I forgot what it was called. But the Marvin Gaye's family, because he's dead.
Yeah.
The family, though, they sued the guys who made Blurred Lines. Blurred Lines.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who that was. Is that Maroon 5? No. Because I remember like something happened similar with Katy Perry not too long ago.
Black Horse, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the thing with Blurred Lines, the drum beat and kind of like the don't. You know what I'm talking about? That's the bass line to it. Can you remember the song?
Was it Robin Thicke?
Yes, Robin Thicke.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Robin Thicke and another artist. Pharrell. Yes, good job. Nice memory. Holy cow. And those guys, they were inspired by, but they didn't, the music.
Composition.
The composition on paper wasn't the same. but the judge overruled it because it was like this similar vibe. And a lot of artists got in rage about it. So they ruled it against
Like, that's always
Will
been a
Ferrell.
thing, though, because I remember what happened, like, back in the 90s or even sooner. I don't remember, but it was, like, Vanilla Ice. And Vanilla Ice, and it was over Ice Ice Baby, because they took sample, because, I mean, how, like, where I spent a lot of time in the hip-hop world, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, and, like, sampling's a huge thing, and that's how it was founded, but now, like, that's where it's becoming less of a thing where, like, because even there's like a difference between like a mixtape and an album. Like a mixtape is a project the artist puts out for free, and like, you know, even the beats and everything, that's how it's composed. Like those producers,
kind of like a YouTube video versus like a film that you put on.
Yeah,
on
yeah, and the same. If you want to think about it, like with all the copyright and like in that aspect,
one's for sale, one's for sales,
exactly.
and the other one's for just fun.
But now even with those mixtapes, like, even if they're putting it out there for free,
if it's getting views,
if it's getting traction for said artists, which
that's our attention you're stealing.
Yeah, exactly. So like a lot of labels and stuff are not liking that.
Well, for me, I argued and would argue against the decision against the Pharrell and and what was that the other guy's name again?
Robin
Thicke. Yeah, against those guys, because I feel like inspiration. It's crazy that people in suits who don't even create.
Sorry, that bothers me.
People in suits who don't even create are ruling judgings on where inspiration can come from. Everything is just based. This is like the human tree of inspiration. I feel like we constantly build off of the people before us, and that's what makes us so special. We have the ability to learn and pass knowledge and inspiration of ideas to the next generation. Albert Einstein doesn't just pop up in the 20th century. He could have popped up with Newton or something. You know, something interesting. Galileo died, and exactly 300 years later, Stephen Hawking was born.
Never knew that.
They have the same birthday.
Oh, wow.
Well, not same birthday. Sorry. Death day matches the birthday.
Okay.
The day he died, 300 years exactly, that same day, Stephen Hawking is born.
So he was born on the day he died. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yes. Stephen Hawking was born on the day Galileo died.
Okay.
And he talks about that in his book that I recently read, because he talks about meeting the Pope and how he didn't want to like have the same fate, because the Pope was telling him not to study things beyond the Big Bang and before time, and to stay away from that because that's the realm of God. And Stephen Hawking was like, I'm glad he didn't like listen to my last lecture and paper I just published trying to decipher the beginning of time. And he's like, but he didn't want to share that knowledge at that moment because he was a superstitious, because he didn't want to share the same fate as Galileo, the person who died exactly 300 years before the day he was born. Pretty interesting.
Yeah, I never knew that.
I like that. I like that. There's something about him. I had the idea he's all thinking he's a reincarnate.
Yeah, I mean, who knows anymore, man?
It got me looking on ChatGPT, telling me all the people who died on the day of my birth 200 years before.
I'm gonna have to do that.
It's kind of fun, dude. There's like a classical pianist. I love playing piano. And I like to pretend, that pattern there, that was my previous life. I was a French pianist in 1893, October 27th. And then 100 years before that, at school, you just find all these notable people, but there's always notable people. Each generation, do you think there is a reincarnation cycle?
You know, I do have a very open mind about a lot of things, perspective, but I mean, I feel like it could be, honestly, like, because I feel like there's sometimes things feel like too much of a coincidence, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Well, I'm a quiet and open-minded person myself. Look at all these books. You see these? It goes from a chronological order of the year that the stories took place, Egyptian Book of the Dead on the left, all the way to the latest versions of Bibles and interpretations of the Dead Sea Scrolls and things like that, Hindu books, Tao Te Ching, things like that. I love reading into that stuff. I'm very, I think, share the same kind of look out as you, open-minded.
Yeah, I feel like that also helps, like, if you're, you know, whatever country you happen to be in at any given moment now.
Well, that's hard because it's so easy to, honestly, I was talking to my friend about this. I feel like it makes you stronger to have a faith, because when it comes time, our special time, it's getting so deep already. Sorry.
It happens.
Yeah, but for me, I was just talking about this with my friend, and we talk about things like this a lot. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I tend to do it with, you know, the people I'm around pretty often.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, it's the fun topics. Honestly, it's like the ones that really kind of matter in the end.
Yeah.
It's kind of what makes us special as humans. Because I remember one time I had a friend who was like, "What's your obsession with like death?" Because I'm always like, I had the Egyptian Book of the Dead. I was actually talking about that, and they're like, What's your obsession with death? Like, always thinking about death and stuff like that. Because I guess really looking at religion and the after is kind of the idea of that. But I remember it bothered me at the time. But sitting in the shower thinking about it, when you finally get the clarity of what you think. Oh, I finally figured out what my answer is to that. You ever feel that way? You're like, I wish I said that thing in that moment.
Or from even like 10 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. And that's me now with that moment. Because I was like, I remember I was a little flustered when I was like, what do you mean? There's no I don't have an obsession with death. It's not that. I was just like trying to play it off like that.
Well, I mean, I have Memento Mori tattooed on my chest. So like,
what's that? What's that?
It's a Latin, it's pretty popular saying. It means remember death. Like,
whoa, yeah. Holy cow.
Yeah,
okay, so you are the right guy to talk to.
It means like we're all going to die one day. Like,
yeah, dude. But honestly, that perspective, I think makes you live harder or better. For me, I feel like I live with more gratitude knowing that this is finite.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, damn, I breathe the air in. I feel the sun a little better. Like, damn.
Yeah.
Soak it in. I love this.
But I mean, I got it just because I didn't know what to say. Like, I remember seeing it over the years, but just like, it's kind of one of those things like, okay, whatever. Never really paid too much mind to it. But what actually had me get that is just because I can get more into it down the road. But, just.
Get into it now. What?
No, whatever. But because I've just dealt with a lot of trauma over my life, a lot of death, recently as well. But basically, one of the main reasons that get me, because I was a big Mac Miller fan. Like, I'm a big rap fan in general, but like Mac Miller was one of my favorite artists because just, there's a lot of his music, his projects, a lot of things he was rapping about at certain times reflected to me at where I was at those points in my life, weirdly enough. So I know, like, especially with social media these days, like, people like have a parasocial relationship with somebody they've never met.
Oh, and what?
Parasocial.
Parasocial.
Yeah, that means like you think you know somebody, like you've never met, you see the celebrity, so and so.
Oh, like, you get to feel like you understand someone because you've heard them talk a lot.
A lot. You've followed them for so long.
Yeah.
Like, so that's where that parasocial mindset comes from. But like personally, and I knew
Do you think that people don't get to know somebody though like that?
I don't know. That's a good question.
That's what I strive to do on documentary. I'm trying to like show you how amazing these people are through my own perspective. It's like, but my creative lens. But the thing I'm striving for is capturing authenticity, trying to get people to forget there's a camera on.
Yeah.
Show us who you really are.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's why I'm like trying to always I'm going fly on the wall. That's what I'm inspired by direct cinema, old verite style documentaries where it was very fly on the wall. And you let long takes play out and you see what people really, it's like, honestly, probably the old OG podcast, if you look at it like that.
Fair enough.
Kind of, because they have the long takes where they bounce between people during conversation with like famous singers and stuff, like original documentaries from like the 60s. Dylan, there's like a country singer, Bob Dylan, yeah. Bob Dylan documentary. There's a Bob Dylan direct cinema documentary from the 60s that's like really good. And it's just, it's like podcast. You're hanging out with him and you're seeing him talk with people and it's fly on the wall. That stuff inspires me. And I want to bring that to like it's because it's authenticity.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyways, that roots to the idea of, can you feel like parasocial? Is that valid?
Yeah, but so like with Mac Miller, when he passed away and everything, like, it hit me pretty hard. And like, I know so many more people that hit hard. So he had put out, it's called Self-Care.
So did you have a parasocial relationship with him?
I felt in a way, yeah. But so it's so eerie talking about this and the way the events happened. So, for people that don't know, like, he died from an accidental drug overdose. Like, yeah, like pretty much like he was sold, it comes in that lifestyle sometimes. Like, he was trying to get high, do a little bit of coke, but then someone sold him something that was laced with fentanyl. And then like last I saw, 2 of the 3 people that were addicted on that, like, got charged and they're facing like 10 years plus each or something like that. But I'd have to look back into that. It's been a while.
And maybe they're even just the scapegoats of the problem.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
Because what if they're just delivery men?
Right, exactly.
They don't know what the hell. They didn't harvest this.
But so the week before he died, he put out, it's called Self-Care. And in the video, like, basically he's buried alive in a coffin and he's like rapping the song and everything. And in the video, like, he carves memento mori into the casket, and then at the end of it, like he comes, like he pretty much gets out of it and everything, and then there's a bunch of explosions going on and stuff. Like really tasteful, really artful, but it's supposed to represent like a new beginning type thing. But then like a week later, he's dead. So like,
whoa,
yeah, it's.
Are there conspiracies behind that?
I don't know, man. I try not to go too far into it just because I don't want to put myself in the negative mind place.
Well, I think about like Jimi Hendrix, you know, about his overdose or his body being filled with wine, his lungs being filled with wine.
I was just listening to a podcast about him, but
were they talking about that?
They were getting to it, but
actually, I learned about that. Sorry, I learned about that because I was watching a documentary in a hotel, and it was a Jimi Hendrix documentary. And I was like, oh. And I just left it. It was like an old one from like the 90s or something. And it was just going into the big conspiracy that the CIA killed Jimi Hendrix because he was trying to promote the love movement against the war. And then there's like, you ever get into the industrial war complex side of the world?
No.
Oh, yeah. Well, it seems like kind of likely if you connect a lot of dots.
Yeah. I mean, it's like my thoughts on like the prison industrial complex, but
oh yeah, that one's one too. Yeah, I'll get into that one, dude.
Yeah,
I actually got into it with one of my guests on here because they were for private prisons. They thought it was how if you don't have if private prisons go public, they're gonna be shit. And I was like, well, don't you think that like the way they're incentivized to make money though is to put people in cages?
Legal slavery at this point.
Yeah. How do you get incentivized? What's the incentivization for growth when you're in the prison business? How do you make more money?
Right.
You need more customers.
Well, it's like, and I feel like, you know, the people that need to be there, obviously murderers, you know, rapists, those type of minds, like, keep them locked up there. You know, somebody like, you know, even if it's for like marijuana charges, which like obviously has changed so much in the course of even the last 5-10 years, like, there could be people that, you know, weren't even selling that much. And if they weren't doing anything harder, like because a lot of people are obviously products of their environment. You know, they don't have the best resources for education, employment.
Victims of their circumstance.
Yeah. So like they got to do what they got to do. I get it. Not condoning it, but like.
It's hard to... Everyone's path, but the thing is, this kind of goes to a free will argument.
Yeah, it really does. It really does.
Yeah, how much of your is determinism? You were determined on the path because you didn't make up the atoms of your body and the external circumstances that you were born into. But how much choice do you have in the way you react to it?
Exactly. That's something.
Does it have to be baked into your DNA of what kind of person
I had
you are?
to pretty much like, because I've been in therapy for a while now, and like, you know, I pretty much like had to rewire how I thought about a lot of things, because in that same lane you were just saying where, you know, a lot of people react impulsively based on any given situation. But, you know, a lot of that has to do with like a lot of internal traumas, like things they don't realize they're doing incorrectly. Like, because if that's what they've been exposed to their entire lives, and that's a pattern of behavior that has been normalized to them.
There's subjective morality.
Yeah. It's like,
morality is not baked into the human spirit.
Yeah, but you know, for me, I felt there was always like something there that knew like a lot of the circumstances, a lot of things I was around. Like, hey, this isn't how should be normal. This isn't like something a child or kid should be exposed to. But that's all I knew. So like, I kind of just thought, oh no, it's normal. It's okay. But like once I started like, especially in this field, like when like we meet different type of people from all different walks of life all the time.
Yeah. That's the best part about it.
Yeah. So it's like that helps you like open your perspective, open your mind to a lot more. But it's like, so it's like when I'm sharing like some experiences with other people, and like if I say something like a dark joke about something that's pretty traumatic, and to me it's a way to cope. To me, you know, like internalize, help.
Gallows humor.
Yeah.
Honestly, the funniest people are all the traumatized ones.
Yeah. So, but like when you say something to someone that hasn't had that similar experience, and they look at you like, "What's wrong with you?" Like,
so yeah, I hate those people though.
Yeah,
I hate those people. My people are the people who make fucked up jokes. It's because I was in the Marine Corps.
Yeah, I was about to say. I was literally just about to say that. Yeah.
Dude, could you try I think you should pull your mic up a little closer, because for me, I don't hear you that much.
Gotcha.
These ones are, I don't know what kind of mics you do a lot of music business stuff, but these ones are like bubble. They're performing mics. That one's a performing mic. So just pull it up closer so you're speaking into it. You know what I'm saying? Just like this. I got you, bro. like this.
Your dog's passed out at my feet.
There you go, dude. I hear you way better already.
Gotcha.
Yeah, just try talking into it.
Because I mean, that just as a audio person too, like I always try not to.
Boom, perfect, right there.
All right, because my head, it's like I'm always thinking it's gonna be peaking.
Yeah, no, this got a good. When the compression.
Yeah.
It keeps it get down, or
That's
maybe
good.
a hard limiter. It's a hard limiter where it keeps it from.
Yeah.
So
like I have a little
really
Zoom
good.
field recorder that I can do that.
Does
with.
the auto?
Yeah,
That's a lifesaver. But the thing is, it works for this because we're in a controlled environment.
Yeah.
So it's gonna. When you're out and about and you keep that auto on, man, that sound can pick up a lot of noise.
Yeah.
Because it's trying to hear in silence. It's trying to pick it up, and then when he hears it, drops it down accordingly, and that's why it sucks out in the field. I kind of run the wheel on my cameras out for the lavs. Anyways, I trust the auto because I have this flat that's I'm setting on the shotgun mic where it flattens out like this.
Yeah,
The hard limiter. And I use that because honestly, that works pretty good. But I just make sure I keep the decibel locked in at a spot where it's not going to be breaking. I agree with you. I don't want to have peaking all the time too. But this controlled environment with these kind of mics, you don't got to worry about that, dude.
Great.
This stuff in this Rode podcaster thing, dude, it works great. This thing is solid. I used to run it into the cameras directly, and I had this software called Autopod. And it would.
Oh, I think I've seen ads for that.
And you just click it, and it
just does. Going back to like AI, that's literally
does the editor's job.
Yeah,
it's dope because I'm the editor. I don't want to do it anymore. Like, dude, here goes.
So in aspects of like that, where it definitely makes things
you more efficient.
Yeah,
and honestly, efficiency is better. Like, come on, let's just get creative. That's just like you don't know how to hit a hammer into the rail of the railroad anymore. We can go faster. We can do something that you like doing more. I mean, if you like editing and you're good at it, just do it. Honestly, it comes down to just do what you want to do.
Yeah.
It always comes back to do what you want to do. If you're fucking wanting to edit when there's edited things that are editing out there that are better, if you like doing it though, what's the problem? Just do it. Especially if you get good, I think it's like a human touch of art.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
it's your special style.
See, with me, where like a lot of the things I do, try to do for some people is like content creation, because when I'm on the music side, created more of the creative thing. Like when a lot of people were just trying to pump stuff out there for TikTok, Instagram, like Reels, YouTube, like short form content that's just like meant to make people stay engaged. But like what I hate about that is just, I guess that's always been a thing, just whatever's trendy at the time.
Yeah. Well, that's a smart thing to do if you're just selling products.
Yeah.
If dude, this is what I don't like. I hate the idea of making your life your entertainment. I prefer to make my work the entertainment. We're in the entertainment business.
Yeah.
It really is what it is.
Yeah.
You're entertaining people in their off time. You're not a fucking engineer or something. Like what we really provide. And when life gets easier and easier, when all the jobs are taken, entertainment's gonna be the most valuable thing. People would want to be entertained. But we like to hold this nostalgia to primitive way of life before entertainment was really
I feel like
digital.
It's just, I feel like that's always just going to be a generational thing too, because
but it's art. There's different qualities of entertainment.
Of course.
And I feel like there's fucking art pieces.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, damn, that's like a beautiful expression of the human spirit. Like that's what I heard this saying, and I really believe it. It was by Cornel West, Dr. Cornel West.
Okay.
You ever heard of him?
Is he the one that
He
does
ran
heroin?
for president. No. That's what the fuck is that guy? I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
He's like, don't fuck, let all drugs be legal, and he does heroin and stuff. No, Dr. Cornel West, he ran for president. He wasn't on drugs. He's this really cool kind of philosopher, big in the black community. I have one of his books around here called Race Matters. I haven't even tapped into it though, to be honest. But I really love. Took his master class because my wife, she got me a subscription to master class.
Dude, I wanted to do some courses on there.
Yeah, it was fun, dude. There's like magician ones, and I tapped into my inner child again. I'm like, those are some dope tricks.
Why not?
Do you remember that Disney movie that was about magic? And there was like an era where they were teaching on the Disney commercials how to do magic tricks.
I do not remember this.
You don't remember that? And there was like one where you get a salt shaker and you put a napkin over it, and you like form it and you drop it off the edge, and then you go you squish it. I would do that all the time.
That's just sleight of hand, like
he's just slide it off into your lap, and then you'd hit it at the bottom like this, and then you're like, oh, squish. And then what? Yeah. Anyways, what what the fuck? Oh, masterclass. I did a magician one on there too. I was like,
why not? Hey, cool. if it's there, why not?
Yeah, because there's so many.
If you had some time to kill.
I did some film storytelling ones. I did some chess ones, poker ones. I did Dr. Cornell's one on music, philosophy of music. And it was beautiful. And he said, all art aspires to the condition of music. And I was like, that is so legit. Music gives you goosebumps. You know what I mean? Like music, you can start singing together with people and harmonizing. There's this special, deep feeling with music. And if any art medium can make you feel that, you win. You have a painting that makes you get the goosebumps and that deep feeling like music can, and ringing in your bones with vibration. You see a piece of art on the wall and it makes you do that. Oh my God, you made the best art piece ever. All art aspires to the condition of music.
Man, it goes hand in hand.
What does?
I feel like art and music. I mean, it's basically.
Well, music is the best version of art.
Yeah, but I'm saying I'm thinking more of like the visual side of it.
I think there's something special about sound, honestly. Vibration. Like it's just the electromagnetic force of the universe. Atoms vibrating. Like everything is oscillating vibration.
It's like I'm not a rave person, but I have friends that are. Like they're always going to as many festivals as they can. If they can afford it.
I've never been to one.
No, I haven't either. But I mean, I've been to like small local type ones, whatever. Nothing crazy, but still kind of get the environment a little bit. But I know like there's people that are deaf that love to go to those because like even though they can't hear the music, it's the like you're saying the vibrations, the sounds, like it triggers a response in your brain.
Oh, Beethoven, dude! All our sensory is just picking up the vibrations in the electromagnetic force. We pick up those vibrations. Each one feels it in a different way. Our touch repels the densities, the vibrations of the protons and everything in there are different. So we have solid matter, even though everything's just spaces of quarks and things bouncing out and in of this universe and the quantum level. If you think about that, I don't know. Have you ever learned much about quantum physics?
I have not.
I've gone down, dude. I've gone down.
Fair enough.
Like I just told you, I finished a Stephen Hawking book like a few days ago, and it was awesome. I think it gives me a deeper appreciation for God. And I think Stephen Hawking believed in God. The way he talks about it, because you observe. All science is you're observing and finding the consistencies. And that's now a law, physical law, physics, about our universe. And they follow that so far where you learn about atoms and elements and the things that particle physics, the things that make those up, and you get to a point where you can age, like the thing he didn't want to talk about with the Pope, about the age of the universe. Let me run a question by you. When you look up at the night sky, if the universe is truly infinite, why don't you see a star in every single spot of the sky? Why isn't it just a big, bright white light? Because you should theoretically have a star in every single spot if the universe is truly infinite.
No, just because, I'm out under stars all the time, like, because I do all the long exposure stuff. So I'm trying to drive out to where it's just pitch black.
Yeah. But there's gaps still.
Yeah.
Why is there no stars there if it's infinite?
Never really thought of that.
Stephen Hawking did. And the thing is, that's how you measure time of the universe, because that's how we know the stars are expanding. You measure those light frequencies because they shine different. If you shine a flashlight from right point blank into your eyes versus I'm on the mountain far away and I shined it, there's less photons. They spread out, and you read these deeper oscillation patterns. And that's how you're able to read how far away things are in space. And with the red curvature, the bending of gravity that affects, that's how they proved Einstein's theories and stuff. But with that data, they end up realizing that things are expanding and going out, and that they know that there's a cap to the universe's time, because we would be able to see stars forever if infinite time ever existed. But there's a beginning. And that's why we can't see all the stars out there, because their light hasn't reached us yet. There may be more, but they're so far away and the universe isn't old enough for that light to reach us. Pretty wild, huh? That's just so cool, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that. I do like that.
That's how they do it. And it's just the more I understand how they do it, I'm like, whoa. I just keep saying, whoa. I keep thinking this is more beautiful because it is perfect. And it was created. There was a creation moment.
It's like listening to deGrasse
Tyson.
Thank you. I'm trying to say his name, but yeah, him.
Yeah, he's fun to listen to. I don't like the way he talks about UFOs. He's very close-minded about that.
Fair.
He's like, no. But there's like data from, they're having congressional hearings. There's Navy pilots with radar. The ship got radar.
Oh, yeah.
My
my boss is like, he's 67.
Oh, yeah.
And his dad was in the Navy when he was growing up.
Okay.
So like, you know, and he tells me stories from like when he was a kid of his dad, like, you know, being out in the middle of the ocean, you know, pitch black, pitch black. And, you know, pretty much saying like, oh yeah, no, I've seen UFOs. I've seen this, like, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, even Columbus wrote about it in his journals. And what the fuck is his name? The guy who sailed around the world, Magellan. You know about Magellan? He's the first guy to Spaniard. He went around the whole world.
Yeah.
For the first time with a boat, big crew.
Because like, wasn't it
And
that
everybody
Columbus tried to like take credit from him or something like that?
I'm not sure.
Can't remember all the facts there, but
I read this book about Magellan and went through his whole life, and it was really awesome. And it was just talking because there's like 3 boats they go off with, and they're gonna travel the world. Magellan dies on a Pacific island against some natives on a beach, like straight Pirates of the Caribbean journey. They get the fucking when you're deficient in vitamin C out in the sea, what do they call that? The
scurvy.
They get scurvy, and they're all fucked. And if you can't even get up to eat for scurvy, they just if you can't work,
it's gonna die.
They dump you off the ship. Because you don't need to be eating our food.
Yeah,
we need to keep working. And you're out in the middle of the ocean. They did not expect the Pacific Ocean to be that big. It's bigger than all the. It's like if you just face the Earth on one side of the Pacific Ocean, it's like 2/3 of the Earth. You can't even see. It's so big of water. They weren't ready for that shit, and they ended up going all the way across and running into fucking islands in Malaysia, Micronesia, and all those Fiji places, and running and fighting islanders and colonizing Philippines.
That's crazy, man.
And the one boat made it back with like 4 dudes on it or something.
Wow.
And the boat was rotting.
What was the crew
It was
size?
rotting to the core. And the Magellan was gone. The crew was minuscule. They were left with hundreds of people.
Wow.
And coming back into the port was fucking this broken down, rotted to the fucking wood.
It's like
boat.
a 1998 Honda Civic. Like,
always gonna be there. It might fucking feel like a piece of shit, but it'll get you there. That's fucking crazy story, man. Why did I bring that up though?
I have no idea.
What the fuck?
Went from like the quantum physics to
Magellan
UFOs and this. And
Oh yeah, Magellan wrote about seeing lights like that too, but they write it. There's an explanation for that. That's not very exciting, like UFO related. It's ball lightning.
Yeah.
That comes off the top of sails sometimes, and it's like back then sailors looked at that as like a good blessing because they're like, oh look, there's a ball of light watching us. But at the same time, it's like there seems to be really freaky balls of light all over the place these days. What's freaky? Maybe it's our people. Maybe we're gonna travel intergalactically soon.
I mean, if Elon gets there.
There needs to be a lot of different things. You need to break physics to be able to make us conquer space like that. But I'd like to think that those anti-gravity drives, maybe. You know about that?
I feel like my boss has brought that up before. Because like he goes down the conspiracy.
There's a Mexican physicist that made the Albuquerque drive. It was Miguel Albuquerque, and they called it, and he used Albert Einstein's math and with the gravity, how he's made relativity and created the characteristics of gravity and predicted black holes and all that, which get verified. But quantum physics clashes with Einstein's physics. There's a clash there. There's no unified theory of everything really yet. There seem to be kind of claims that there might be. Quantum science gets fucking hard to keep up with. But yeah, Albuquerque used Einstein's work and made a drive that could theoretically bend space and propel you through it because you're like pushing space behind you instead of traveling to the friction of it. You know what I'm saying? Like space-time, traveling through space and time in a weird way. What the fuck? How would...
I don't know. Like I said, that's because I mean, I have a bunch of space tattoos.
Oh yeah,
like so. You know, that's something you think I would, or not that anybody fully understands it, but like just have more of a, like research into it more, you know?
Yeah. Well, you like this topic? You like that stuff?
To a point, yeah.
What stuff that you're interested in nowadays?
It's hard to say, man. Like, I mean, I game a lot. Like,
What you playing?
at the moment, I just actually the first Alan Wake. I don't know if you ever played that.
What's that on PC?
It's on all consoles.
Alan Wake?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
It's like a survival horror game, but like basically it's kind of falls into what we're sort of talking about. But
Oh, really? It's like
so he's pretty much
game?
he's a like world famous author and everything, and like him and his wife go to like this remote town somewhere, like to just kind of get away. But then pretty much like some darkness, like demon type entities, like start to take over, and pretty much you're playing through a story he wrote that he didn't remember writing, and yeah, it's
Do you believe in dark forces in this universe?
to a point.
Really? To
Yeah.
a point.
Like, because I'm not necessarily a religious person myself, but
Okay.
I would say I'm a spiritual person.
Uh,
So I do, energies, that kind of thing. So
you believe in good spirits?
yeah,
So do you believe in bad spirits?
I mean, I feel like that would come hand in hand. Yeah,
So there's bad spirits out there. That's freaky.
yeah. But, I just feel like, it just reflects on the type of person not everybody's perfect. Like, we all have messed up. Like-
But you don't think there's... that's what's freaky, because if there's pure good, maybe there is pure evil. Fuck it. We're fighting for good, though.
Trying to anyways. Who knows anymore, man, with the way the world is.
What? How do you not? You don't know what's good?
Well, I mean, like that could be a subjective thing to certain people.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You're right. What's good to you?
Because like say somebody's like a sociopath, a narcissist, like what's good to them wouldn't be interpreted the same to somebody that.
Everyone's doing what they think is good, probably.
Yeah,
In their own warped version.
yeah, exactly.
What is it to you? Do you feel like you have the ability to define it?
I feel like I do. Yeah,
What would you define it as?
I mean, just not being a shitty person.
Come on. What the hell? That's subjective too.
That's the whole point. Like,
I feel like for me, my version of good is being kind and being a protector.
Mm.
Honestly, I think I kind of look at life in the lens of creation and destruction. I think you're either creating, which what creating does is inspire and blossom the ability for more people to create, and creation continues to flourish. And then there's destruction, which halts the process of creation. When you destroy something, it can no longer create. And so you're either creating or you're destroying. And I feel like when you talk to people, are you trying to create inspiration and create them to go create? Are you trying to help them go create more? Or are you destroying and trying to halt their process of creation? You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It really comes down. I feel like I can look at most things in life with that lens.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, same. Honestly, I always say to a point. I just
You always
feel
leave room.
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
a skeptic, and deep inside you're a skeptic person that likes to learn.
I do. Just always, because I don't like to feel like I'm always right about something. Because I feel like that carries ignorance to it.
Yeah.
And
Even in the book Laws of Power, they talk about one of the laws of power is don't choose a side too early,
yeah,
because you lack even the wisest. Like, oh, actually, this might be a quote from Lord of the Rings. Actually, even the wisest men can't see the future. Like, you can't. It's unpredictable. And actually, you know what? This part boils down to physics. I think there's a certain principle in physics that is, I feel like, connected to free will, and I feel like Stephen Hawking alludes to that as well. And it's the uncertainty principle, and it's that when you really study particles with detailed instruments, they find that when you study the motion, you lose track of the position, and you can't, as you try to track position, you lose the data on the motion. And it's, no matter how fine-tuned their instruments are, it's like they're baked into each other being like that. That's like a law of the universe. You can't know both. It's the uncertainty of the universe. And it's like, because you can't know, like the wisest person can't know the future, because even the strongest scientific instruments cannot know the uncertainty principle. Isn't that wild? And it's literally like, for photography terms, if you try to take a picture of a spinning fan, you can take a slow shutter so you can capture the motion of the fan blades.
or you can shoot it at that super fast shutter.
But yeah, you lose detail with the speed. But if you try to get the frozen details, you don't know the motion.
Exactly.
And that's a baked in principle of our universe. You're not going to know.
It's like, what is it? The golden ratio, I believe.
Are you thinking about like Fibonacci?
Yeah. Because I remember you had Daryl, right? Hunt.
Yeah.
College. Yeah,
Hunt,
one of your instructors. Because I remember I had just to do an elective. He had this class. It was like, I can't even remember what it was called, but it was like an art, his understanding, appreciation type of thing. Like you weren't necessarily learning like any design principles or anything like that.
Yes,
but it was
I remember we
yeah.
studied the Fibonacci sequence,
Yeah,
leading lines, all those things, rule of thirds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of
the beauty of the universe, really.
Yeah. Because like when you look at things that are like perfectly symmetrical, like when you really.
Do you think beauty is something that is understood equally amongst everyone?
No.
Or it's the eye of the beholder?
The eye of the beholder.
So their ugly can be beautiful.
Yeah.
So I think it kind of comes down to you just appreciate all of life's existence, the good and the bad. You look at the bad as beautiful too. It takes a special person to look at bad things though and be seeing it as beautiful.
Yeah, I can relate to that one.
I guess it just has to be a really grateful person.
Yeah, like so that's something that try to remind myself a lot of.
There's I think of Viktor Frankl. Have you ever heard of Viktor Frankl?
I have not.
He wrote this book called Man's Search for Meaning, and he went through Auschwitz in World War II. He won a Nobel Peace Prize with this book, Man's Search for Meaning. Psychologist who wrote about. He ends up coming up with this philosophy that he made about tragic optimism. That's what it's called. And it's like looking at life in the shittiest moments. There's some people that it was built different because some people would kill themselves in the concentration camps. They would go and grab the electric fence, kill themselves.
Because they're probably in the mindset of like when is it going to be my day? Like,
or they think they lost everyone.
Yeah,
it seems to usually be the thing. Once they've lost everyone, they're like they give up.
What's there to live for?
Yeah, what's there to live for? And they go and grab the fence. But Viktor Frankl, that motherfucker it's on a spectrum because that motherfucker will push. He pushed and pushed to live, to hold on to the thought of his wife because he thought the thought of her was enough to keep alive. It was like, and he looked at it like it's like keeping a candle. You find that fire to be so beautiful, and you're in a blizzard, and you could just say, "Fuck it, this is an impossible journey." But it's like there's some motherfuckers that will be like, "Hell no, I'm keeping this candle alive. I find it beautiful, and I'm not gonna let it die."
Yeah, man, that's deep. Like, because like I said, that's only. I mean, how many Holocaust survivors are still alive today?
We're losing that perspective.
Yeah,
but there are always people of tragedy. I mean, my wife, her family came here from Bosnia. They were refugees.
Oof.
Yeah, they had something kind of like that.
Civil war torn country, like.
Yeah, where people are just getting ridiculous, and the men were just getting rounded up and shot. Yeah, Srebrenica. Have you ever heard of that? That place, they fucking slaughtered people. The NATO went there and pretended that they were going to save people. NATO went there and put up a base, a perimeter, and they barely funded it, dude. And this is the big problem, actually. They told everybody in Srebrenica, don't worry, we're here to protect you. They're not allowed to cross into NATO territory, so you're safe in this base. And they came, and the Serbian army, this general guy who he got convicted of war crimes, showed up and told the NATO guys, hey, let us in. We need to check for soldiers. And they were like, these nerdy freaking Swedish NATO dudes were like, there's only 5 of us here and you have a whole army behind you. And they're like, we can't let you do that. And he's like, are you going to stop us? And they're like, no.
Yeah.
And they stepped aside. They went in there, rounded up all the men, took all the men into the city, put them on buses, said, oh, we're just going to go put them into our jail. Rounded them up, took them all down, shot all of them, just went, killed them all. I left all the women there, dude. They had nothing. And then after the war, you go back and there's people, Serbians living in your house because they took over that territory.
That's stuff like that. Just like pit in your stomach. Like how can people be so cruel? Like, but that also makes me think of like what things did they go through in their life up to that point that made them like that.
You're a very understanding person. You are trying to look at the light in everyone.
I mean, not forgiving their actions by any means, but
it's like, empathetic enough to actually consider that maybe they're a victim in some way to their circumstance. I think we got to throw that away. Because, maybe you You got to have consequences in this world.
Oh, 100% agree there. Yeah, yeah.
And someone's got to bring the justice.
I mean, because in the aspect of like the character, like the Punisher, because yeah, because I
haven't seen that. My brother loves that though, and he showed me one. No, it was one of my friends. He showed me a scene that was like a long take of him just being ass in prison, just killing everybody.
Yeah.
I was like,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
That was a crazy scene.
Yeah, also John Bernthal, the actor himself.
Yeah.
Like, I really like
He's a stud.
Yeah, I really like the way he portrays.
What's he portray?
Like those type of characters.
Oh yeah. So what did this character? He's like a vigilante, right?
Pretty much, just because his family was murdered, but he was a high op, like spec ops in the military type person, and but then his commanding officer basically had his family killed, and so like his whole life mission.
Sounds like Gladiator.
Yeah, in a different.
You think about it?
Yeah.
Kind of like Gladiator a little bit.
But basically, so like, and then his entire life's purpose from there is just pretty much like
kill.
Well, yeah, basically
revenge.
Like with characters like Daredevil and Spider-Man that he, in the comics.
It's in that world.
Yeah, it's
DC.
Marvel.
Oh, it's Marvel?
Yeah.
Oh, Spider-Man.
Yeah. It's all right.
Yeah, Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, bro, loved it. Saw that in
theaters.
theaters.
Love that animation. And the what's the second one?
Cross the Spider-Verse. Is it? Yeah. Into this. I'm trying to remember the ones.
I can't remember.
Because I know the third one.
Awesome.
Third one's got delayed like 10 times. But
how about the Ninja Turtles? Have you seen the Mutant Mayhem?
Is it that
with Ice Cube?
No, I haven't watched that one yet.
Bro,
I've seen clips of it though.
I did a lot of mushrooms and watched that. Dude, I was in tears by the end of that movie. I was like, this is beautiful.
Were they animated by the same people? Or
yeah,
similar?
the same style, but they also, I think, have a little bit of stop motion in there too, which I don't know if Spider-Verse has that. Probably they have that cool like texture where it's like layered. It's a very cool style. Looks like a lot of work. Yeah, that stuff. Oh, that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one, dude. Oh, I love that one. I've watched it like 4 times. That one is good. Mutant Mayhem, beautiful story. It's like
great
music.
It's called Intergalactic. Kid Cudi, the rapper, like he had his own movie. Like it's an animated love story, basically.
Oh yeah.
But like, see, I'm a big Kid Cudi fan. Like I have several.
He has a movie that's animated.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Came out a few years ago.
It's good.
Yeah. It's really
about
good.
His life.
Not like vaguely, like some of the characters in
inspired by.
Yeah, like, and if you're like a big fan of his music, like there's characters and things that reference his real life stuff. So
people who are involved in his real life stuff, should they sue him for being inspired by their real life experience?
Yeah. I mean, it's like when someone's gifted a lottery ticket and they win a crazy amount of money on it, and the person that gave it to him tries to sue him for part of it.
Because you do think they gave him something.
To an extent.
But they don't own the rights to someone's expression of an experience. And honestly, everything, if you never heard music ever, back to Robin Thicke, if you never heard music ever and you're just beating sticks and stones, you're probably not going to make Blurred Lines. You have to be inspired by things before, and maybe Marvin Gaye won't be making his Marvin Gaye stuff. Like there's a whole chain of music history that has to occur of expression and inspiration to reach the point where someone makes rock and roll, someone makes hip hop, because they're not making hip hop back in Beethoven's day. Because it's just, there's inspiration chain. Yeah. There's this chain of inspiration that leads to the next innovation. And art is also something that has to be innovated, like technology is. Someone has to be creative enough to be like, boom, I just thought of something completely never done. And it's like, but you can't get there without being inspired. To see what other greats have done.
I may misquote this, but I like Pablo Picasso, one of his famous sayings, like, if there's something to steal, I steal it.
Well, I feel like, you're just trying to express an experience. All art is that. Express an experience in a way that feels like it reflects what you want people to feel. Who's good at communicating?
Yeah.
That's the great communicators make great art. They really get paint an emotion and an experience into you.
Because, I mean, myself, I capture a lot of where my mind is at any specific point, ups to the good and the bad, I use that. So glad I've been put myself in a position where like I can benefit to a financial sense with my creative ability. But it's also like this entire time, it's also been a way for me to help vent my frustrations, my feelings, because, you know, I'm not always the best in speaking it, talking about it. I've become way better over the course of the last, you know, reflecting back onto the therapy, like just learning a lot of these better techniques on how to express myself in that way. But like the things I've created have always been a reflection of that as well.
Any things that you learned that were pretty revolutionary?
I mean, it's even as simple as like it's pointed out earlier. It's just like not everything needs an immediate reaction, you know? Like as far as like, say you lent someone money and, you know, it doesn't even have to be a lot of money. Like it'd be like $20.
Okay.
And then you see this person, like, they'll be like, I'll get you back. But then like you're around them and they're over here spending that money on alcohol or things they don't need. And you're just like, and you'll be like, where it meant for me, that could be something if that could trigger me into just like becoming like a shitty person for a while, you know? Like, just, yeah.
I relate.
Yeah.
I relate. I feel like for me, I used to say this thing to my friends all the time about, I would call it killing the chimp, because we're 99% a chimpanzee. We share the same DNA, which is a lot, not genes, DNA. 98.6% of our DNA is similar to a chimpanzee, which means not even 2%, 1.4% of us has to rise and not be that fucking monkey. Because you know what monkeys do? Monkeys are greedy, selfish, envious. Honestly, I feel like they nailed it with the 7 deadly sins. They nailed it, dude. Greedy, gluttonous, lustful.
See, that's one I've never gotten to. I mean, I watch a lot of anime, but I haven't gotten to that one.
Oh, well, 7 deadly sins is a Catholic principle.
Oh, okay. Though there's an anime.
But I know there's an anime. I'm referring to. They based the anime off. Look at these motherfuckers. The church should sue them. See, we can't be suing artists. Come on, just let people make great art. Let them be inspired. But you can't directly copy. If it's a direct sample,
of course.
But fuck,
well, it's just like I remember, like when Mickey Mouse went in the Creative Commons last year, like just seeing all the memes immediately.
Dude, there's literally, even if we look at a piano, there's limited note range there. There's like 10 notes. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. 7 notes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Semitones included, probably like 12. And how many fucking songs are you going to be able to make? There's got to be a limit.
Like there's a video out there of Ed Sheeran. It's just like, he's just playing the guitar and someone tells him like, tell me a song. They tell him it and he just starts playing it using the same chords.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably 4 chord structure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's just, come on. There's limits. It's not, you're going to get into the semitones. Like, and also there's like understood frequencies and certain rhythms and patterns that are like universally loved by humans. We love a certain, and you can't, so just because one person played that chord set before, now it's forbidden for everyone forever to play that chord set. Oh, but you have to like annotate it just a little differently. And that's where music gets all fishy. You know, come on. You just can't directly sample. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Make your own music and try to change it up a little bit out of respectfully. And I think they did do that in Blurred Lines, but it had this too similar of a vibe because the music sheets were different.
I think it's just because, you know, that song sold a lot of, like, how much money that song made. So like if someone makes something that's, you know, doesn't do anything, then they probably won't care too much. But
yeah, and how much of it, I bet you people could argue that Marvin Gaye's family got fucked by the music industry.
Well, yeah, because, you know, if he probably didn't own any rights to his own stuff by the end of it.
And they're like, we need to get some money.
I mean, more so now with just how modern technology is. Like, it's such an influx, and like I want to say at times it's oversaturated with like, you know, you've probably had friends that have tried rapping at one point. Like
myself, dude. I mean, I didn't
really
try rapping to be a rapper, but I just always loved music.
Fair enough.
I'd make songs with my friends. I have some old stuff.
See, see, if you're just having fun with it though, like just to have fun, cool. But you know, there's so many people out there that get into it thinking like it's gonna be. I feel like a lot of that's just like because all you ever see are these people that just seem to pop up out of nowhere. Like they seem like they're instant success stories type things. Okay. And there's few and far between that does happen.
But viral TikTok feels like it changes the game where that happens often.
Yeah. But see, a lot of time it's just like, you know, you think of a viral thing you see on TikTok like a year ago. Like if you look at it now, it's like, where's that person now? Like,
but the trick is if they keep creating.
Yeah.
Because then they can, first you get discovered, by a huge amount of people. They go, dang, I like that. Everyone universally likes it. That's why it blows up. And now you have people looking at you, and that's your opportunity to show everyone, I can make another good thing stick around. And then if you can live up to that moment, then you can start building a fan base, I think, is how it works.
Yeah, see, for me, it's just like, how my main thing is like working events and stuff. So it's crazy because I've like reliving like teenage years, because last year I worked Hawthorne Heights. Like, I don't know if you remember them, like emo band from like mid 2000s.
Okay, what's the song?
Nikki FM, Ohio's for Lovers, Fade to Black, I think was one. Like that album.
What about it?
No, I just worked one of their shows.
Oh, you were working their show?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
and then,
dope.
So that, and then it's just like seeing them still sell out venues for like you could tell like there's people there with their kids and stuff now.
Oh, yeah,
and
like generational.
Yeah, yeah. So things like that. See, like people have been doing it for that long still, like they may not, because at one point they were probably like doing stadiums with like thousands and thousands of people, but now they're doing these venues with like several hundred. But still, they're still doing what they get to love, and they're successful. Like,
and that's the cool part when you like look at them and you're like, dang, they make a lot of money. But the best part about it that maybe people don't look at too much is the most important part. They're doing the thing they love. And how can you have a bad day when you're doing the thing you love?
Exactly. Because there's some, like, I've known some people that like very talented artists, not just musicians, but just like artists in general. Mm-hmm. But life circumstances change things, and then they just give up. Which I get, they got to take care of themselves first, like how we were talking a little earlier about all that. But
survival.
Yeah.
To survive.
It's like you got to take care of what's the main responsibilities, which should at the end of the day be you and your family, whatever circumstances.
But the thing I was getting to when we were on that topic outside, I was thinking, and this is a biased perspective because of my own circumstances, but I feel like if you work hard enough and you really do want something, the universe would help you get what you deserve.
Yeah.
Do you feel that?
I mean, I've had several of those moments myself, so I can agree.
You have to, and the thing is, for me, I think because I feel like I don't get things when I'm not working hard. I know if I spend a day, for me personally, I love playing video games. I play like Oblivion. Right now is my vice.
I haven't gotten to it yet.
Oblivion Remastered. I've been getting too many hours in it.
Trust me, I feel the same all the time.
But the thing is, that's because I know what I want. When I look in the mirror, I know I'll feel bad if I spent a whole day gaming, because I know there's things I want to get done deeper inside me more than I wanted to play a game. And that's where it's like when you can tap into knowing what you actually want, then it's just up to walking the path. If you see the path, can you keep your feet on it and keep walking? And maybe it's just a consistency thing, and the universe will get you what you deserve eventually. And being smart, intelligent in your approach, because if you actually, there's a balance between a purist in art and an entrepreneur that makes a lot of money.
And taking calculated risks.
Calculated risks, yeah, because it is like a big blackjack game.
It really is.
You got to know when to put a lot down because the count is high.
Yeah.
Try to count cards as best you can. See what.
Or unless they catch you and beat the shit out of you, but.
What?
Oh, no, you said the counting cards thing. I'm like, unless they catch you and beat the shit out of you.
Yeah. Well, they changed it up in Jackpot now. You can't. They have shoots, and they added more because they had single deck there for a long time. Single deck cards, you're playing with everyone. I'd count the shit out of that place. I would literally always count. I'd always win. And it's easy, single deck. So I play, count super high on this one, dump a huge amount, sometimes lose. But if you stick around long enough, you're going to hit that big count again, you're going to win it back. Because statistics. You just got to ride the wave. If you flip a coin 100 times, it's not going to be perfect 50-50, heads and tails. But you do it 10,000 times, you will see there's like a bounce. It's not going to get ridiculously away from 50-50. There's an equilibrium. The average is about 50-50. And so that's how it is for counting cards and blackjack. You got to know when you have a 51% chance advantage. And when you dump it, sure, sometimes it'll be heads when it was supposed to be tails. But if you stick around long enough, statistics balance out. Just how much time do you got?
I've never gambled, so.
Oh, never?
Well, I mean, like I've played cards and stuff with like friends before, but I've never actually been.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because for me, I look at it, it's like, say I go and like, yeah, you can, say you go there with $100 and you leave with like several hundred, like you're like, okay, cool, it was a win. But if you lose that $100 in 20 minutes.
Well, that's your thing of like slot guys. And
yeah. Like,
it's fun to play blackjack because you can play slow. At least you used to back when it was $5 minimum bets. Play nice and slow, have fun, hang out with people, hanging out with delinquents. It's like a bar, and gamblers, and they're funny people there.
Because I mean, I know casinos are like deliberately designed to like, there's no windows.
Yeah,
like the exits
no clocks.
Like that, like the way they build and like hide the exits basically just keep feeding you alcohol.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I haven't gone back because now they have like 6 decks in a shoot, and the minimum bet is like $10 now.
Didn't know that.
They changed it up.
Yeah,
now my gig is done. I like to go there and I like to count and I like to beat them.
Yeah, just because I've always had the mindset of it's like, okay, yeah, I can take this money there and possibly make more off of it, or I could take that,
go to the arcade.
I haven't been in an arcade in years, but
I went to the arcade in the mall just a while ago because I had some time to kill in the mall as they were fixing my phone. And I just dumped like $10 into the punching machine. And I'm like, I'm going to develop the perfect technique so when I run into this in the wild with friends, I'm going to be able to like, boom, nail that thing. And I got it down. You have to do a cross. I used to always do a hook because the hook feels like you get leverage. Boom, like you get a big twist, Because
I'm like, I've seen videos of like small people like getting crazy scores and like professional fighters getting minimum.
Oh my gosh, really? Yeah. Professional fighters?
Yeah, because I just feel like, like you pointed out, I feel like on those type of things, it's more of the weight technique.
Yeah, because it's all about hitting that pad.
Yeah.
It's all about hitting that pad. And with the hook, sometimes it goes just a little off angle, not perfect angle. You get like a little angle with it. With the cross, it's straight down the middle, and it just hits it perfectly straight, and it boom.
See,
now you get the best scores that way.
Like I was saying, like, so the whole casino thing, like, so taking that 100, possibly making more, you could take that 100 and like, say I need several things for a camera, like, or something's on sale for, you're
thinking about investing
it back into something that can help
something
me.
Useful.
Yeah.
You feel guilty.
A little bit, yeah.
Like, well, I could be using this money for good.
Like going back to video games, like whenever I buy a video game at full price, I'm just like, damn, I could have used that for something else. Like,
yeah, but you gotta wait for it to come out on the Xbox Game Pass.
That or like I'm a PC gamer, so like on Steam.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Damn nerd. You're a god race. PC god race.
No, I mean I haven't custom built one yet, but I want to.
Oh really?
But, yeah.
Asus?
I mean just whatever.
What are you running right now? Alienware.
No, I haven't. Well, I haven't. It's set Asus actually. I learned that.
What?
Yeah.
Asus?
Yeah.
Asus?
Asus.
This whole time I had a Asus laptop.
Yeah.
I thought it was Asus.
Trust me, I thought the same thing, but I listened to a gaming podcast too. Like
Asus. I never heard it.
Yeah, the people on it's like, no, it's actually said Asus. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll remember that.
Asus, wow. Asus sounds cooler.
Yeah, it does.
Asus. But, it's a little sus.
So like, I mean, I kind of custom built the laptop I have, like just because it's not as easy to like swap parts out, like unless you know what you're doing and good with a soldering gun.
Yeah,
like,
and you're grounding yourself out
exactly,
and wearing the gloves. And,
yeah, but like so they make it to like where you pretty much can like put more RAM and another SSD into it.
Yeah.
So the one I bought, that's like immediately what I did. Like I swapped out the RAM and put in a bigger SSD. Like
I want to build a really badass editing computer.
See, that's kind of the like so I upgraded for the laptop I have now because my old one like I had for years and it was still doing most things fine, but like it just started hitting.
What's the RAM?
That was only 16 on that one. The one I have now is 40. Like,
whoa,
yeah,
dude, can you just 4K render like nothing?
Oh yeah, pretty quick.
You will have no buffering probably.
I mean, it depends if like I'm doing a crazy edit sometimes, but I still proxy everything when I edit.
Dude, because I'm making a feature film right now.
Yeah.
And I'm editing on a MacBook Pro. And it is good. It runs 4K, but you can't have a huge project. So I've divided my scenes up into acts.
Okay.
And I have 3 scenes per act because that's the most efficient way the Premiere Pro renders with that computer.
Okay.
So then I just edit 3 scenes at a time, chunk like that, instead of getting them all together. And then I'm going to refine them into an export and then take the final export.
Are you like working straight with raw footage too?
Yeah. So I have a ton of 4K FS7 footage. S-Log
Not
3.
too familiar with that, but I'm sure those files are beefy.
Yeah, XQD files, dude. Actually, I run on XAVCI, but I used to run on this codec called XAVCL. You know much about codecs?
A little bit.
So then you get these cameras, they run on, like, you can change the codec, which gives it a different data rate, bigger bits, smaller bits. XAVCL, bigger bits.
Okay.
Full bit dynamic range, but it is huge.
Yeah, the Blackmagic's similar in the sense of like, I think I could probably go into the bit rate if
you have a Blackmagic Pocket?
Yeah, the 4K.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That seems so cool.
They are. I have really enjoyed it since I've had it and everything, but what I hate is so when I bought it, we're talking about it. I bought the Metabones adapter for it and everything for my Canon lenses, but it still was kind of funky. I was still getting weird crop.
It's not a full sensor.
It didn't. I mean, it may have been a lens too, whatever, but like, so it just didn't.
Maybe.
I don't know.
It's just maybe the camera, huh?
It might have been the camera itself.
Is it a full sensor camera? Do you know?
Now the 6K is.
But you don't have the one.
I don't have the 6K.
Yours is like a 3/4 sensor.
Yeah,
and that's why you got crop edges.
Yeah, sweet with the but. So then I ended up going and buying like a whole new set just to use on the camera.
I hate
but
that
like
crop edge thing, dude.
Yeah,
you might as well just punch in a little bit because, man, I hate because it feels like it just fucks up the whole thing because you're trying to see on the viewfinder in the way you want to shoot it, but you have to kind of account for cropping in and cutting out a bunch of pixels because you got these fucking big shadows on the corner. It's annoying. Gosh, that sucks. They had to deal with that.
Yeah,
if you zoom in a little bit, it fixes though, right?
A little bit. I mean, it depends on the shot and how it is. Like you can't go super crazy, but like yeah.
What's your standard lenses that you use on your things?
Well, for my Canon, the same one that's on that camera, the 24 to 105L.
You run in and zoom, and you got lots of situations, different things. You don't like some people are like live and die by primes.
I mean, with my the cinema camera, like I use like purely Rokinon style cinema lenses now. Like I got a whole kit and everything.
Those ones are pretty inexpensive.
They are, and the quality holds up. Like.
Yeah.
Some of the shadow depths sometimes don't really, but
yeah, it's manual, isn't it?
Yeah.
Most of them are manual.
Yeah.
I run manual. I prefer manual. I do not like autofocus.
Yeah.
It racks in documentary filming, especially when you're running long takes. I like to live into my view where I feel like I'm watching a movie.
Yeah.
And I'm following the action will be a movie. And I'm good now at rack focusing, dude. Rack focusing to where I want to go because I've done it so many hours. But I don't know how many hundreds, maybe thousands of hours for sure.
So are you set up on a glide cam most of the time?
No. I set up
not a glide cam, the steady.
Nope, hell no.
Really?
I got long days, dude. I'm trying to capture authenticity, not I'm not care about
just straight running grind.
But I wear my backpack backwards, and there's a little pocket in the front, and I stick my tripod plate in there, and it stabilizes it right in my front. And
oh wow!
It's like a little.
I never even thought of that.
And I literally just pull my viewfinder up and have it right in front of me, and it's better that way because I can shoot sideways. Shooting directly at a person facing them, it makes them nervous.
Yeah.
But if I'm sideways and that they don't even,
they kind of forget it's
there. They kind of think I'm not looking at them.
Yeah.
And they kind of be themselves a little more, and then I'm sneaky on them. You know what I mean?
I like that.
Capture authenticity.
I like that.
Get a lav on them and then hide behind a wall. Just hang out on walls for a while. Stay far away. Zoom in. I got the lav picking it up, and then just keep not even facing them to the point where they feel like they're just talking with somebody.
That's great.
There's nobody over there.
Yeah, because I use the Crane 3S, the stabilizer.
Oh yeah,
I run that, but I still need to get the follow focus attachment to. But that's a whole.
I used to be rigged out. I started out. I had the shoulder mounts, everything, make it look as cool as possible. But I have to operate for long days.
Yeah.
And I can't wear. I strip them down to their bones now. Only what is needed.
See, that's the thing. Everybody's workflow is different, or it's situationally too. Because like I'm not always set up on that. Like yeah. And I mean, I feel like just because I'm trying to capture like just people being natural, like Nat Geo style, you know, like I'm out in the field recording some meerkats, but they're human beings. Yeah.
And I have to sit here all day, and but I have to move constantly to get creative angles to tell a story. But I think about it like less is more has kind of been it's like relying on your fundamentals eventually. Eventually, the fundamentals are what work, and switching it up every now and then is what adds taste. Yeah. But having like constant extraordinary things, I feel like for me and my style is just too much. I like the fundamentals, which is the story and good editing.
See, and that's how I feel like for like music videos and stuff, you know, when someone just throws a random drone shot in there just because they can, it's like, but it doesn't
intention.
It doesn't need it. Like
this is what I've narrowed good art down to. It takes two things: energy and intention. How much energy did you put into it, and how much intention is in your work? If you put both those things in there, a lot of energy, a lot of intention, it's going to be a good piece of art. But a lot of people, with shorts and it's reels and stuff nowadays. That's why I like making the idea of making a movie, because I'm putting tons of energy. It's like writing a book versus writing a blog. You know what I mean?
Sorry, I'm laughing because this happened. I had a friend, like he has a big bully pit and everything.
Yeah,
like he looks like a monster, but biggest baby ever. But like he made a TikTok page for him because he that friend makes music and everything. So he was like experimenting ideas with the dog page first before he tried to implement it on his own stuff.
Oh, okay.
So there was one night we're hanging out in the basement and everything, and his dog, like whenever it likes a song, it starts howling.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
He's the best critic. You
Yeah,
can tell
so-
which songs are good.
Yeah. But so he loves Plain Jane by A$AP Ferg. I don't know if you know the song, but like whenever that song comes on, the dog just goes crazy. Like immediately, like it'll be dead asleep. You start playing it, and then it just like ears just
Ready
shoot
to
up.
party.
Yeah. And then like he just starts howling. So I just recorded a clip of it and then like I showed my friend, I'm like, oh, I got this clip. He's like, send that to me. So I sent it to him. Then he posted on TikTok and it went viral. I'm not even kidding.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Like he looked like I asked him about that the other day, actually. I'm like, yo, where did that end up at? And he looked at it. He's like, 300K views.
Wow.
Like 20,000 likes,
my
like
gosh.
several thousand comments. Like, I'm like, bro, what the hell? Like,
Yeah.
nothing I've ever shot myself, like seriously, like full production, like has done those kind of numbers. Like,
That's because that's a true life moment.
right?
It's just authentic.
Yeah. So it's just like, and I tell him all the time, like, bro, I need that royalty check. Like,
And that's what I feel like reality shows are trying to capture a lot. They're trying to make it look like you're constantly in the moment, those special TikTok moments for those someone will have a video that just pops off and goes viral in their life, normal people all the time everywhere. And it's just a moment feels like a real person having a real genuine little moment, and people will thrive on that shit. The authenticity is growing. I swear. People want to feel like it's a real life. You're witnessing something real. Tired of bullshit.
yeah. So I just relate because it could just be the most random thing that just does that out of nowhere, which it was like,
Yeah. But the thing is, see, something like that, I think I'd argue that that's not quite like an artist making art.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because those things are the things that pop off and people get addicted to those views. And then you try recording everything in your life. You try copying trends. You try doing everything. And that's great for marketing.
Yeah.
But as a creator, as a creative, for me, I want my work to be my entertainment, not my life. You know what I mean? Well, that's why I feel sad about reality show people who make their entire private life their entertainment. You're going to know me. I'm going to be known because you know everything about my private life.
Like I said
have no
earlier
private
about like
life.
parasocial relationships to a point. But like with the reality show people, like that's even, I feel like at a degree above, you know, just like being a fan of an artist and like
But
following.
knowing their dirt, knowing their personal family dirt.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Because they
being-
put it out there like that. Yeah.
There's some things in life that I hold sacred still. And I want love and family. And for me, I think I don't want to put my fucking son all over the internet.
Yeah, of course.
I'll let him decide. I'm gonna have plenty of pictures and stuff here at home.
Yeah.
But I think I'm gonna, make my art and try to get attention on it. And I say some crazy shit here. I'm sure I don't want him to have any repercussions of me being a dumbass.
See, but you're like very conscious about that, which is good because a lot of people aren't.
Yeah, people just get addicted to the views. Mm-hmm. And this is easy. This is what I can only do shit like this because it's authentic.
Yeah.
We're just literally, there's nothing. That's what it feels like. I can do this, but I can't do the talking to the camera.
See, what's like you would point out earlier, like my presence on social media is like very minimal anymore.
Yeah.
Like just because the stuff I do, like when I was getting into working with artists that have millions of followers, like getting thousands and thousands of views on every post, likes and that. And then when I had a taste of that, that was the most, like one of the most surreal experiences I've ever had in my life. Like, cause like I post that picture on my page, I get maybe 100 likes at the most. That's because like, I don't have that many followers because I'm also not that engaged on there. So I get it. But like, so when that same artist, they have 300,000 plus followers on their platform, any given platform, and they post it, that same image gets 10,000 likes. Yeah, which has happened.
That seems like a freak thing a little more though.
Yeah. But
That's just a viral moment.
Yeah.
This is funny. People love animals. And a dog howling to a song, come on.
Well, no, not specifically the dog one. Like
Just in general that happens?
Yeah, well, not so much anymore, but like, say like speaking if I'm like working a concert, an event, get shots of these artists, and I send it to their team, the person, whatever. It's different. Like sometimes I have to work through somebody's management, or sometimes I can speak directly to the artist if I've gotten to know them at a like better.
Yeah, you guys feel like homies.
I wouldn't say necessarily homies, but like a more of a personal relationship than just speaking to their manager all the time. But,
okay.
Yeah, but so like I send them the work I get, they post it, and like, you know, get several thousand likes.
Oh yeah, like that. You're right.
On there. But then on my personal page, if I post it gets like 100 at the most, if that.
Yeah, it's because they have people who expect to see them.
Yeah, exactly.
They know they're following that guy because they're a fan.
See, and this is what I tell people, like don't get into it. Like, I mean, if you want to try to like be big, if you want to try to, you know, be viral, whatever, that's your intention, whatever. I hope it works for you. But for me personally, it's like I do it because I love it, and
that's always the right reason.
Yeah, and then like I've had those, because at the end of the day, like the work will speak for itself, you know.
Yeah.
Like, because the right people, like, will see it. The right people will give you those opportunities.
Yeah, and you'll get what you deserve.
Yeah, because like I said, you know, in the case of like going back to the dog video and everything, you know, I got all those views, all those likes and everything, but literally didn't result in anything else other than just a moment to look at, like, oh, that was cool. Like,
I have a video from the cheer series I made that went viral on my YouTube. It got 1 million views on YouTube Shorts.
Wow.
Popped off, and people were talking shit, thousands of comments. It was It was funny, dude. It was pretty funny. And that fucking video, nothing came of that. The fuck? I got like a lot more subscribers.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You get subscribers, and then what? Maybe they'll unsubscribe. The thing is, you just have to keep making shit that you want to make, and the right people will find you, and you'll get what you deserve. But the thing is, honestly, also being around, I got this from the guy in Colombia, and one thing that he does, he's the biggest influencer in Colombia. He used to do reggaeton music.
Like that super jack dude?
He's a pretty jack dude. Yeah. He was the thing I realized with him was his art, his music, the things he posts he make, they're fucking good.
Yeah.
He has like a team of creators.
Yeah, a whole like that's
a team.
Yeah.
And they are good. They make good stuff. And he makes his own music. He makes his own beats. But the thing is, when he makes something, he makes it worth having. Like someone like you see that content, you'd expect that type of content to have an audience.
Yeah.
Because you see like that's fucking good. And if you do that consistently, people expect that you're going to keep seeing this good stuff. So it's like, what quality of content are you putting out too?
Right.
That's the thing. For me, my content, I fuck around with this is all fucking around. Everything's fucking around. But for me, my work, that's the thing I take seriously. Oh, yeah, and I'm trying to make this documentary. I am making this documentary the best work I've ever made. This feature film I'm making, it's the best thing. I realized I listened to an Ice Cube podcast actually, and he was talking about this one guy. I was like, do you have advice for people who like don't have resources and started out kind of like how you started out, like with nothing? Like, how did you make it? And like, what advice do you give them? And he said, I come from an era of show me what you can do. He said, there was nobody waiting to give you a chance. You had to show the world what you could do. And once people could see what you could do, you know, they want more of it. You just keep proving to the world how great you are, pretty much. I'm paraphrasing the end of it, but it was the show me what you can do is what resonated, what she really said. And I'm like, really? Everybody wants to be in their dream job, but are you even can you do that? Can you prove that you can do that? Is there proof? Show us the proof. You want to you want to be a movie filmmaker? Do you have movies you made? No, so you're not a movie filmmaker. That's me right now. I got my movie though coming up. I'm gonna have my first movie. I'm gonna make another movie after that. I'm putting my all into this movie, and it's gonna lead up to more opportunities, showing people, look, I've made a movie. You know, I'm gonna distribute it and everything, and that's gonna lead to the bigger opportunities because I've now shown everybody what I can do. Like
I know somebody, you know who Carrie Judd is? He's out of Boise.
I think so. He has piercing blue eyes on Facebook. He's an actor guy, right? Didn't he do they did a documentary going to like Greenland on bicycle right?
Because like
Boise,
like I don't know him super well, but I've known him for a while. But like one of the people that was featured in that, he goes by the rapper Zero. Like I've done a bunch of stuff with him from the Boise area and everything. So it's just, and like, you know, and I know he entered that in some festivals. It's gotten some recognition. Like, so I'm just like, just seeing, you know, similar aspect from what you're speaking of. Yeah.
They sound like this a lot.
Yeah. And then Curtis Judd, I don't know if you've seen his YouTube channel. Like,
I'm not sure.
Like he's another audio video person.
Oh yeah.
But like his YouTube channel is pretty big, but that's Carrie's brother. Like,
oh really?
Yeah.
So those guys are just creatives too.
Yeah.
They're just making shit.
Yeah. And just,
they're putting the work in.
That's the thing. Like, and getting into this, I didn't realize like how many people are doing this, you know, at a very successful level. Because, you know, well, when I started, like, I didn't know how to network, essentially. Like, I was learning as I went, basically. Like, because when I first started, I was doing a lot of quinceañeras.
What does success even mean, though? You see someone like some people act like I have some sort of success because I have a podcast that I always spam on internet. You know what I mean? But it's like, what is success?
Somebody could do that on their phone.
Just make shit and keep making shit, and people will be aware of the shit you make and will know that you're making shit, and then they think you're somebody because you're making shit. You know, hey, you made that, right? People who are fans of directors are literally like, hey, you made that movie. I love that movie, and it's like they just were making shit. And now I have people who talk about the family boxing documentary before. They're like, told me that they watched it and stuff. And I'm like, wow, that's dope. Like literally just people, it's just sharing your work at the root of it all is just making something awesome to you and then sharing it. And
there's been times where like, I've just been like somewhere hanging out, like, and well, mostly, you know, even if I'm not working an event, like concerts, my main thing. If I'm just there, just hanging out, like not working that night, like, there's been several times someone would come over to me. It's like, you're Nick, right? Like, yeah. He's like, oh, you know, I follow you on Instagram, or like, I've seen your works here and here. And it's like, you're really good. I'm like, well, thank you. Like that's happened a lot, even some like such a small scale, but like, it is a very appreciative thing all the time. It's also, I don't think I'll ever get used to it, but
it's just funny. Cause you think it's like, I mean, I realize that cause I work with all these big influencer people all the time. And I realize the thing they do is they just keep making shit.
Yeah.
That's how even people like Miley Cyrus who have a dramatic character change and stuff. But the thing is, what they all in common, if you stop making shit, you're done. You make room for the people who are still making shit. That's it. Because people are constantly consuming. And once you stop making stuff, your career's over. You gotta just keep making stuff. That is it. It never ends. That's why it's like, what is success? Is it like you made money? That's a different thing. That's a balance between your art and your entrepreneur abilities. Can you sell? The best-selling book isn't the best book.
Yeah.
It's just the best-selling one because the people know how to market, they know how to sell, they know how to reach an audience, and they resonate with people and things like that. But that's maybe people measure that as success. How much money did you make from that project? You know, I remember like I tell this to people who, like my friend who doesn't want, like friends who don't want to start posting things. They want everything to be lined up perfect before they post things. And I always tell them like, what, like just post, just do whatever you want. It really comes down to just do what you want. And if you want,
trust me, you're speaking, like half the artists I work with and are also like really good friends. Like they make such good music, such good things, like, but it's been sitting on their computer for like 2 years. And it's like, well, you know, we want to put a bunch of behind it, this or that. It's like, well, yeah, but it's going to do nothing if it just sits there.
There's this book called The War of Art. And even Rick Rubin's book, The Creative Act. Have you ever heard of that?
I know who Rick Rubin is. Yeah.
You should get in his book, dude. The Creative Act. You love it, man. But dude, they talk about amateurs are perfectionists. Professionals keep making new things. You got to just keep making. You set a time of you're going to dedicate this to a project and make an amazing work as best you can, and then finish it and move on to another thing and make that next one even better. And that's what the chain to success in Rick Rubin's eyes and Gladwell, who wrote The War of Art's eyes. And that's something I always had a problem with because I always wanted to fine tune everything. And that's the thing. If you are a perfectionist, you'll never make anything. You'll never reach perfection. Anyways, what do you have going on? You got any big projects coming up?
Not at the moment. Like I said, you know, I've been kind of slowly, like, because I've personally, like, I've still been doing things, but just not at the frequency that I have in the past. Just because, you know, I've been focusing a lot on like my mental place. Because, like, I posted about it, you know, a couple weeks ago when it was my brother's birthday, but I had a brother that passed away from cancer in November. So obviously that hit pretty hard. So, you know, I just have taken a lot of time for myself to focus, you know, for my own well-being, but also kind of being there for my family as much as I can.
You know what? This is I'm sorry about your brother. I got a brother, man, and it would tear me apart. Imagine going through what you went through. But that video is what inspired me to reach out to you. Actually, it really put you back into my like the zeitgeist, I guess, a little bit.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? Because I didn't know what you're up to, really. As we said, you never post anything. And the last time we hung out was probably when we went to Shoshone and I got stuck in my truck.
I remember that. And then the random people
that
pulled
Jeep
up.
saved us.
Well, no, because I remember at first it was one truck that tried to pull up was just like a normal tow strap.
yeah.
And then that thing just blew up. and then I remember, I don't know if it was you or me who said it's like, man, we need somebody with a hitch. And then 5 minutes later,
manifestation much, right?
And then someone with a hitch happened to just pull up,
rolled right in,
Yep.
and saved us.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's been a while. I don't remember when that was.
A good minute.
Been a few years.
Several, yeah.
But that video, video moved me, man. And I think it's just because it was so real. You were very real in it, even talking about how you were like struggled to even figure out what to say in the video.
Well, no, dude, I had literally like just put a mic on myself.
Yeah, I could tell, and you weren't even facing the camera, and I felt like you had it was a good talk.
That was an artistic choice too, but
yeah. I really it resonated. I'm sure a lot of people felt something because I don't know. Sometimes very powerful art comes from tragedy. Sometimes.
So I mean, in the process of grieving, because like I had accepted it way before, like he even passed, because like I was already knew, like memento mori, like weirdly enough, got that on my chest. It means we're gonna die. So like that's something. And, I've had uncles and stuff that have passed away, like, growing up from, like, addictions and stuff. So I've been around it a lot, unfortunately. So it's something, I don't want to say I'm desensitized to, but it's a reality that has been in my world for a long time,
Maybe you're calloused. It's like when you lift weights a lot, you adapt and you become stronger.
Yeah.
And the next time you grab it, it doesn't hurt your hands as much because you've developed a call.
Yeah. So
I don't know if that describes.
No, yeah, that makes sense. I get what you're saying with that. It's kind of like you said, building up endurance, building up.
Desensitized feels like it doesn't. You would imply that means like it doesn't hurt anymore or something. You're desensitive.
Yeah.
But of course, I think that life and losing people you love will never not hurt. And so maybe callous would be a good way to say that. Because it's like you're stronger.
I like that. But so, I've had a lot of time to just like sit on it, think. Like I said, shout out therapy as well. I keep bringing that up, but that's because I'm a very big advocate of it. Mm-hmm. Like, that's because personally it has helped me a lot, because even if I feel like I didn't even start it when I did several years ago, because, it's been a while, like where I go at least once a month. Not every month. It just depends on where I'm at with things, but, it's a healthier outlet that I've, become really acquainted with and look forward to, honestly. Mm-hmm. But, like, if I had never gone through what I have in the aspect of just trying to better my mental state, better how I respond to things, how I control, how I react to things, like if I didn't do that, like I'd probably be in a much different place at the moment with all this.
It's hard to quantify, I'm sure, what it is that brings. Do you think it's just being able to like have a outer perspective from someone, or what is it that you feel like
kind of like
you benefit?
In a sense, it's like, everything like I was saying earlier, like when I was, exposed to a lot of different things growing up that I probably shouldn't have been, like even when I was that kid, that teenager, like I knew like, hey, this shouldn't be normal. This shouldn't be something someone should be experiencing, in these circumstances. But I just internally was like, oh, no, it's okay. It's not a big deal. But reflecting on that now, it's like, no, that wasn't okay at all. So now that I actually have, because especially when I would try to open up to my surroundings, certain families, certain things, and like try to express what I was thinking, what I was feeling. And when I was always being gaslit in a way, like being told like I'm the one that was wrong, when I was like calling everybody out on the shit that, was fucked up. Like,
you feel like it gives you a healthy, unbiased perspective that you had a cloud you couldn't see.
Pretty much, yeah.
You had a certain perspective, and you need therapy helps give you an
clarity in a sense,
clear perspective
from
like someone who's unbiased,
and like, because when like I'm thinking all these things to myself, but just from how I've been nurtured through my life, like I'm always questioning that.
Well, on the spectrum of Viktor Frankl to the gate grabbers, I guess. How do you look at life?
I mean, it depends on the day. Like,
oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like I said, some days I could be really down. So obviously, based on that mood, my mind will be in a little different place. But, if I'm doing, if I'm in an uplifted mood, like, my mindset will be completely the opposite of what it was the day prior.
And that's what's hard because, man, we are so changing. We could be hangry and be reactive. That's why I feel like a good guideline for me is not to ever react off emotion. When you're acting emotional, you're not acting smart. When you're rested, feeling good, feeling healthy, I feel like that's when I make my best decisions. I've had friends that have made pretty bad decisions from being, in these drunken states of emotion. And I just really think they wouldn't have made those decisions if they were sobered up a little bit and had a little clarity.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, man, like I've known some really talented artists and stuff, but, just living a certain way and lifestyle kind of like was their own demise. Instead of and I can honestly say there for a while, like I was enabling it in a sense, just because I'm just like, oh, they'll get better. I just kept telling myself that, but like they really weren't. They're just getting worse constantly. But instead of me like cutting that off way earlier,
could you have? You give yourself a lot of credit thinking that you could have controlled something.
Exactly. But at the end of the day, it's like we can't, because we can try to influence somebody in a positive way, try to steer them down a better route. But at the end of the day, what they're going to do, they're going to do. And like we can, and so like, just I've had several relationships that were once close to me that just completely decimated because of that. But that's something that, part of the acceptance and the way that's also, grief. Like, because I can't remember all the stages of grief. It's like acceptance, denial, anger, bargaining, and not in that order. I can't remember all of them. But
there's stages to it.
Yeah. But
pretty
like
scientific at this point.
Yeah. But like the thing is, like, it's a cycle. Like one day you can feel good about something, and then the next you can be completely angry. Like
Yeah. The yin and the yang.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't want to end it on a depressing note like this.
It's all good.
We gotta think about something. I guess for me, fuck, dude. I always think I'll fight for the candle, but sometimes there are things for me that I realize when I read books like Viktor Frankl, and Night by Elie Wiesel. Have you ever heard of that book?
No.
That book, it'll make you cry.
See, I used to be a big reader in like middle school and high school, but then over the years with my attention span just like I have been getting back into audiobooks though.
And you should check out Night, Viktor Frankl, dude. It's very short. It won a Nobel Prize as well, and it is a beautiful book.
Actually, one book
tragically beautiful.
It's not necessarily like anything super introspective or like
philosophical.
Thank you. Because I know you're a fan of cyberpunk, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's actually a book that came out a couple years ago that's based in that universe.
What?
Yeah, it's called.
Oh, isn't there a movie Keanu Reeves is in that? My brother just watched it and he said there's a bad guy with wire that spins around and he's like a hacker and that his name is Johnny.
No, I don't. This would be new to me because I know they are making a live action.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That was fun. Did you play DLC?
Oh, yeah, I fucking love Phantom Liberty,
bro.
I pre-ordered it immediately.
Why were those stories so good? It's just a lot of tragedy in it.
Oof.
A lot of tragedy in it, and tragic stories make beautiful art.
And
it does.
Like, you're not an anime person, are you?
I watch some anime, not a lot.
Have you watched Edge Runners?
No. Is that oh wait, Edge Runners, I started that. Okay. I just started that, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Oof,
I don't know. I hear bad things happen. It's not a happy story.
Well, I mean, it's
because I see memes where it's like, oh, you thought Night City had a happy story.
Yeah, I mean, I was about to say it's like, if you played through all the game, then it's that reflects immediately.
The happy superhero stories where everything works out it's gone overused. I feel like we all know fucking life isn't like that.
Yeah.
Show me the truth. Show me some real art. And that is what I think you can bring to this world now. I think you always could bring good art, but maybe this moment in particular would be a good time to express some powerful art of what you feel and express it to the world. Because I think, at least for me,
he agrees.
Bosco agrees. At least for me, I think that some real stuff is the powerful stuff,
Which, I'm trying to get back into that mindset to, Because like I said, I'm still doing things. I'm just not really posting anything. But just to get back in that, because like you saw that video and everything, like me making that, like I had several people, that had their own similar experiences reach out to me and just be like, hey, thank you for saying that.
I thank you too. Well, thank you so much for coming on my podcast,
course,
bro. It was a good time. All right. Peace out, everybody. We're out of here. I think that was a good note to end on.
Yeah.